To Analytics with Nags. In this video, we're going to see about what is dimensional modeling in data warehousing terminologies. So we already aware of this architecture, like we have a source and from which we will pull the data into staging and data warehouse we will build and queues, reporting, everything we have seen from this series of videos. But when you build a data warehouse, it's like in your source system, you have some model or the way they design the application uses entity relationship model, ER model. Whereas when it comes to data warehouse, you need to follow some principles like the design methodologies, right? So the design methodology to build data warehouse is called dimensional modeling. So you follow the dimensional modeling approach to build your data warehouse. That is the logic behind it. Let's check it out what is the dimensional modeling in our upcoming slides. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon for notification. Let's start with the definition. It is the data structure technique optimized for data storage in data warehouse. Basically, to build the data warehouse, you follow the dimensional modeling approach. The purpose of dimensional modeling is to optimize the database for faster retrieval of data. As we already seen these points, why we need data warehouse, like it should be made available for quick response for the queries. Whereas, this data warehouse meant for reporting queries should be faster. Whereas your source application should be optimized for insert. Your business process should flow. So a dimension model is built. So what is dimension modeling? So you build star schema or snowflake schema based on your business need or whichever optimized model you are fitting in. That is what your dimension modeling is. So the end result of dimension modeling is nothing but you build a star schema or snowflake schema with the dimensions surrounding the fact table. That is what the output you're going to achieve. Once you build this, you build one of the data mart, not the data mart. You can say like one of the dimension modeling is done with respect to that business process. Let me walk you through that. So what are the different steps you need to understand is like choose the business process, declare the grain, identify the dimensions, identify the fact. Then you can build your dimension modeling. So these are the steps you need to follow. Let us try to consider one sales, right? Some adventure works, consider adventure works database who sells the bikes, right? So they have a business process like sales is one of the business process and HR is another business process, and in the sales they have return, right? Whatever it is written, some or some equipment is failure, so those is some in the sales module it is returns is one of the module that needs to be taken care. So these are the things you need to understand what is the business process is all about. Then once you identify we understand the sales, and you need to find the grain at what level the data is maintained. It is called a grain, the lowest level, and you can decide on based on the reporting requirement and in futuristic any other requirement. What I'm trying to say is like your reports or people are going to ask you only at the month level. There is no point in saving at the day level, right? So you can decide on what granularity you need to store your data in the data warehouse. So mostly the granularity will be the day and also at the product level, which product has sold. So these are the things you need to identify initially for designing. Then you need to identify what are your dimensions, what are your fact. I will cover it up in your next video, how to classify what is fact and dimensions in explaining the star schema. Just understand this is the process. Now, once you understand this, these are the different steps you need to follow, then you can build your star schema. So you identified in the sales, I have one fact table having a sales information and different dimensions surrounding it. There can be a return or retail sales, or it can be return sales, right? And that can be in another fact table surrounded by some common dimensions between these two facts. That is also possible. This is your designing methodology. But with respect to in sales, you can have multiple fact tables. This is simple example of single fact table with different dimensions to understand you clearly how to design your dimensional model. So for the same example, consider this as a sales fact table. This can be a time, this can be a product and location and reseller, whatever, right? So these are the different dimensions. Once you identify, you create this design and you will try to populate this data from your source table. That becomes one of your dimensional model. This doesn't become a data warehouse. This is one of the dimension model. The entire thing about you have sales, and then you have HR and finance. Everything you design like different fact tables and different dimensions. Then it becomes your data warehouse. Let us see what is a snowflake schema. So similar to your star schema, the fact is connected with the dimensions, and in that dimension further divide into some hierarchy. Like here, that brand can be available in this table. That becomes a star. But if the brand is stored in some other place, then it becomes a snowflake. So this is the core difference between your star and snowflake schema. Your ultimate aim of dimension model is to build either a star schema or a snowflake schema. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and comment below for queries. Do remember that data is your asset.